Hello everyone, this is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
If you wanna be on top, you better bring your Can't nobody stop me cause I'm always on my If you wanna be the bitch, you still ain't good, they gonna toss you. You won't have no problems at all.
Hey, my Crimson Knights, how are we? So hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully everybody's doing well. So I'm just going to give people just a few more minutes to get in here so that we can actually talk about something that's kind of disturbing. And I do believe that I put the link to the video in question in the description box. Also, shout out to Man Friday for sending me the video and requesting that there be a live stream done on it. And once I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I have to talk about this. But I'm just going to give people just a few more moments to mosey on in here. Crimsonites, you gotta come in, sweethearts. Come in, sweethearts. Get on in here so we can talk about what is going on around here. Get on in here. My Crimsonites, y'all got to get on in here. Hit the like button as you enter so that I know that we're interacting with the algorithm and everything. Hey, Torrance. So while everybody comes in, I'm gonna have to bore you with some stuff. I think I finally cracked the code, like for real, on my weight loss plateau. And I think the first thing that I have to just accept is that plateaus are gonna happen no matter what you do. Because the reality is losing weight is counterintuitive biologically. Your body does not want to get rid of its energy reserves. It is not designed to do that. It is designed to store them, not give them away or get rid of them. Oh, thank you, Ruminant. Happy Tuesday to you, sweetie. Thank you so much. And so I realized that I have been doing two things wrong, especially considering the keto diet. The first thing that I was doing wrong was I'm now eating too much dietary fat. I'm at a point where I don't need to consume dietary fat to spark my metabolism anymore. I'm kind of at a point where my metabolism will do it on its own. However, eating too much dietary fat, it wasn't that I wasn't burning it. It was just that I was burning only the dietary fat and replacing it the next day, rather than allowing my body to burn through that and then burn my stored fat also. And I didn't even really realize that I had gone off my intermittent fasting the way that I had done. Instead, you know what I'm saying? Like the nibble breaks the fat, you know what I'm saying? Because your insulin spikes, and that's what the IF is supposed to keep down, your insulin spikes. So I was eating things that would spike the insulin just because you're trying to metabolize. So like I told you guys, I'm addicted to cheese, and them little baby bells are dangerous for me. So, I can pop 2 or 3 of them because they're bite size and they're delicious. So you pop 2 or 3, but each one is like 6 grams of fat. And so you popping them, and then you kind of doing that, I'll just have one, but you're really breaking your fast. So that stops your body from burning fat because the 2 states are mutually exclusive. Insulin spike and fat burning are mutually exclusive states of your body. So if you are burning fat, it must be done in the absence of insulin spikes. And if you consume something and then your insulin spikes just because you consume something, and that's your body, part of your body's metabolizing what you ate, fat burning can't occur when your body. So your body has to choose which one it's doing. Yeah. So now that I'm like, okay, let me just be more strict on my IF, it's moving again. Because I didn't start eating bad stuff. I was just eating it at the wrong time and eating too much of the cheese. And then I was eating like a lot of macadamia nuts, and they're high in fat. Now, all of it's good fat, but still. It's not like cake and ice cream fat, but whatever. I'm going to have to clean this diffuser. Them essential oils ain't smelling right. And I got lavender in there. I should be in heaven. It smelled good yesterday. It's got a little undertone scent, and I'm not liking. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? How she's made part 4. Police pepper spray a 9-year-old child, but she's being abused. Okay. So I'm going to try to show. You guys think I can get away with showing a video? It's the body cam footage. I should be able to get away with it. Let me see if I can pull it. Let's see if I can pull it.
Come here.
You got the same thing with almond CP. Yeah, see, nuts are good. They're good fat. But when you're on keto, I'm realizing you got to be careful with that. They're harmless when it comes to carbs. Very low, especially macadamia nuts. Like every quarter cup is like 2 carbs. That's nothing. But it's 22 grams of fat also per serving. And I was eating like a cup because I like macadamia nuts. They're kind of buttery, so I like them. But anyway. Okay. So this is like the released body cam footage of this. This is the Rochester Police Department. And what you're going to see is the video picks up where this one cop, he's by himself in the beginning, is going to sort of, trying to catch up with a child. We'll realize it's a child later. And the first thing is that this cop doesn't know what to do. This cop doesn't know what to do. He's by himself and he doesn't know how to handle what's going on. Now, he's not brutalizing the girl. Like in the beginning, it's not like that. But you can tell he doesn't know how to handle this situation because it's not a perp. It's a kid. But anyway, we're going to try to offers some commentary. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it also.
Come here. Stop. You're not in trouble. Come here. Come here. I'm not going to walk all the way down the street for you. Come here. It's freezing out. Stop.
No!
Stop.
Oh.
247.
I am not.
I got her at 76 Harris. Just start a rig.
Get off of me!
Stop. What's going on?
Get off of me!
What's going on?
Get off of me!
I'm not going to get off.
Get off!
What is going on? How can I help?
Get off of me!
No,
I
because
don't
you're not
want to
going
be
to run.
there!
Harris, you're not going to run away from me, okay? Because I'm going to have to chase you. Okay? And I got like 6 other cars coming to chase you.
I don't care.
All right?
I don't care.
Well, come and talk to me, please.
No, I don't want to.
Dear. What is it? What is going on? What did you tell your mom?
What
did you tell your mom?
I'm not wanting you.
Huh?
I'm not going.
Huh?
I'm not going.
That's fine. But what did you tell your mom?
What?
What happened? Why are you so upset?
She stabbed my dad.
Who did?
Now, this is obviously a kid. She's very upset. She's not really comprehending things very well at the moment. And I will give it to the cop. He only held her because he doesn't want her to run. I don't blame him. I don't want to chase you either. It's cold. It's the snow. I don't want to do that. But he is trying to take a calm tone with her. What's going on? What's happening? To get her talking so that he can get her thinking, so that she may be able to answer questions in an intelligible way. So at the moment, I'm not having a problem with how this cop is handling this child. He's not manhandling her. He's not being overly aggressive. He's not being overly whatever. This cop is alone. He needed help, but the kind of help that he actually ended up getting was not. The other cops, they weren't very good in this situation. He needed a cop that was more even tone, but maybe a little bit more experienced. And yes, June and Zone, she said she just stabbed my dad. So I need you guys to not only pay attention to the behavior of the police officer, but my focus is not only going to be that, but my focus is today is going to be the dynamic between this child and the hyena that raised her, which you're going to hear momentarily.
She did? Okay.
My lip. The fuck?
No, it was not, because when he walked in the house, he was holding his stomach.
It was my blood. How the hell?
So your lip gonna bleed all the way down to your stomach to your
Fighting
pants.
on the porch.
Who's
yes,
your dad?
you grown ass little girl. You're grown as a bitch. You
who's
don't
your
know what
dad?
you're talking about. Look at you.
Who's your
That
dad?
was your blood of your lip. That much blood?
Yes, he had me in the head like you finna really make me do.
Man.
Really finna go in on your ass. Now, because she's 9 years old and she's really behind. That's why she's
Here's
done.
what happened.
That's why she's done.
That
It's
was not
okay.
her
You
blood.
sit there, watch this man put his hands on me all the time. All the time.
Did you stab him?
No.
Now, you listening to what the hyena is saying. The first issue is she's talking to her biological daughter like she's a chick on the street. She's already called her a B a couple of times. Stated that she's 9. So this girl is more than likely prepubescent. And you've called her a B a couple of times. Then you're trying to convince her that the blood that she saw on her father's stomach was the mother's blood because he had her in a headlock. The little girl ain't really buying that because she trying to figure that one out. Then the hyena states, you watch him put his hands on me all the time. Which means that if that statement is true, you are living and forcing your daughter to live in an environment with regular domestic violence occurrences. Because it sounds like you fight. The way she's talking, this is not a battered woman. This is just a woman that fights her man. They fight. Okay? So you're going to hear how this woman continues to talk to her daughter.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How do you know that?
Because
How do you know that?
Yes, because when he walked in the
Come
house,
to my car, let's
when he
talk.
walked
It's
in the
freezing
house,
out. Come on.
he was holding. Okay, so young
Hold on.
Liv gonna
I'm
go
not-
with his blood. And
He has you in the headlock.
I'm not
So you
saying.
stabbed him?
I'm sitting here arguing with it. Yeah, so I stabbed him. I stabbed him.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
I'll just put the police on him. They're gonna find him.
No, he is. No.
They're gonna find him.
Dude, just
and
come
we're
with
gonna
me to
see.
my
You
car,
gonna
right?
get your
Let's
ass
talk.
for sitting here lying.
I'm not.
Come on.
I'm not going to this.
First of all, Steviana,
Uh-huh.
you gonna bring your ass to this motherfucking house, and I'm gonna ask you one more. You gonna bring your ass to this house if I yoke your ass up and drag you home? I got custody. You're my child. So you gonna take your ass home right now, and you gonna take your ass in the house.
All right, come on. Not helping me.
Go to fuck in the house now.
Come on.
Now, I felt like the mother should have been detained after she attempted to attack that child. I don't care anything about. And notice the gynocratic hyena language. I'm going to ask you one last time before I yoke you and drag your MFNA back to this house. She walks up in the girl's face like you would square up against another adult and proceeds to attempt to put her hands on that girl. To which the girl responds by starting to cry. Because she knows the type of beating that this woman is capable of. The fighting had gotten so out of hand that little girl did what she thought was best. She packed her little book bag, po thing, and tried to leave the area. Probably not having any idea where she was going, how she was going to get there, or what the consequences were going to be. She just knew that she wanted to get out of that environment. And having grown up in such an environment, watching your parents fight like cats and dogs, I have done that. I have gotten myself together as best as I could as a child and stormed out of the house, only to be wrangled back into the house by the hyena that raised me and beaten on for 2 days. No joke. Thank you, Man Friday. Okay? Like beaten off and on for like 2 days. Every time I think about it, I'm going to beat you. And that's what she did. Every time she thought about the fact that I had stormed out of the house, not minding the chaos that I was trying to escape or what it had done to me as a child, or what a child might have to be thinking in order to do that, she decided to compile the trauma by every time she thought about it, like I would get smacked or hit on for a while or hit with a belt or whatever was near to her hand. So I understand from a personal note what this little girl is thinking, how she's feeling. She wants to get away, but she fears leaving because she's a kid. How's she gonna make it? And she also fears going back into the house because it's not gonna be a peaceful resolution. Her mother's gonna think of a way to get back at her because now the police are involved and all of these other things. So the hyena that had her is going to think of a way to take vengeance. Because see, this is the gynocratic. This is why I named it How She's Made. Because this is how the gynocracy does the girls. Okay? And I'm not saying that the boys get it better. I just want to be able to illustrate that just because it's gynocratic doesn't mean it favors the girls or does them any good turn. It actually traumatizes girls into it. Girls get traumatized into the gynocracy. That's how you become a gynocrat. Okay? So we're going to continue.
Come on. Man.
I wish you might.
If you want my help, just get up.
I wish you might.
Come on. Stop. Stop.
Who the fuck is you talking to like that? Get away. Who the fuck is you talking to like that? Who the fuck is you talking to like that? No.
Come on, you gotta come with me.
You
gotta come with me.
Who the fuck is you talking to like that?
Come on, dear. All right, listen. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go back to the house. All right. Dear, you're not running away from me. You're not running away. Come on.
Can I help ya?
Come on. Come on.
Can I help ya? Can I help you?
Come on.
I'm fucking ya. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you?
All right, let's.
Now you hear her in the background asking some strangers that are in a minivan, can I help you, in an aggressive way. We all know the can I help you means what the F you looking at? And do you want some of this smoke? We know that that's what she's talking about. Okay. The girl is extremely upset. The cop does attempt to make the mother go in, but here's his issue. He's alone. And he's trying to keep a hysterical child from running off. So his hands, and he's physically occupied with the child who is resisting, like being pulled in the direction of the house because she does not want to go. The mother, with her aggressive self, is purposely not doing what he says, which is to go back home, because she realizes that he's physically entangled with the girl. He doesn't want her dealing with the girl because she's going to beat the girl. So she's taking this opportunity to disobey what the cop is saying by not quietly going back into the home so that the little girl can stop being so agitated because she's right there and basically being threatened by the mere presence of her mother. She has zero confidence that this cop is going to be able to protect her from the mother, and he's not going to be able to protect her from the mother because eventually she's going to go back home and retribution will be waiting.
Let's go. Stop. Enough.
Can I help you?
Enough.
You can suck my dick. And you can suck my dick. And you can suck my dick. What's up?
Enough.
What up? But say shit pussy about me. What up?
Come on. Stop.
What up?
Stop.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
And the masculinity comes out. You can suck my D. Only the most masculine of a woman would let that fly out of her mouth. The little girl is continuing to make her way anywhere but there. So the cop is occupied. He's in between a rock and a hard place. There's no real way to handle this without some other physical help, which is coming, but it doesn't end very well.
Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Right, you still talking. Let me go. Still talking. Bitch. That's the ass bitch.
Yeah, Mom's trying to start a fight with cars driving by now, so get a couple cars down. Stop. Put her in your car.
No.
Yeah. Stop.
I want my dad.
You gotta tell. Listen, you gotta tell this officer where you put her. Come on.
I'm not going over. I want my dad.
247. We don't need you here. Hey, get back in your house.
No, I want my dad.
You're not gonna run off.
I want my dad.
Stop.
I want my dad. I'm not getting in no car. I want my dad. I want my dad. No. Stop. Oh my God.
Now, the child is now hysterical. You know what would have calmed that baby down? And see, this is why somebody else other than cops need to be like maybe accompany the cops sometimes to certain calls. I don't know the logistics of that or how that works out. But do y'all put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what somebody should have did with that baby to calm her down. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know. And I'm not expecting the cop to do this because he's not trained to do this. Not find her father. Well, yeah, find her father, yes. But grab the little girl and hug her by force. Just bring her in and just hold her until she stops fighting. And the reason why that would have worked is because she's fighting because she doesn't feel safe. That's why she's fighting. Just grab her and pull her in. She's 9. You're a grown man. She's not going to get away. And just hold her until she stops. Tell the other cop to go deal with her mom until she stops. Now, I don't expect the cop to do this. However, I think on some calls, the cop should be able to call for not only backup from other police officers, but like supporting groups, a counselor or someone who is accustomed to dealing with very upset people or something like that to go, hey, I got to talk to you. That understands psychology and like, no. I got to calm you down. And they know how to calm it down. Because a cop is only going to attempt to take control of the situation, which I don't blame them for doing because you do have to have control of the situation. At the same time, it's different ways to take that control, and force isn't going to do it with a kid. Especially a child that is upset and now throwing a tantrum. The mother doesn't have any mothering instincts, and she's the abuser. of the child. So she can't be called in to calm the child down because she's the main agitator of the child. So that's not going to work. You're going to see later the other police show up, and they're going to be women police, and the female police officer was less empathetic than this officer. She didn't even, her maternal instincts didn't even kick in to be the one to grab the girl. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Wait, my mom, she's pregnant though.
You done?
My mom pregnant. Oh yeah.
Stop.
Give me a please. I want my dad, please.
Foster SR. Mom's still trying
Wait,
to play.
please. You gonna help my
Keep
mom?
driving
She's
by.
pregnant. You gonna help my mom?
Daughter's in
She's
custody.
pregnant. Please.
I'm going to point out something else. Remember that this girl is 9. She has Stockholm syndrome. Because there's nothing she can do about the involuntary attachment that she has to her mother, despite the fact that her mother is her abuser and her tormentor. Her mother is also her caregiver and her nurturer, whatever that looks like. So when you hear this child start screaming, I don't know what they're doing to the mother, what's going on. But she's like, she's pregnant, go help my mom. That's the Stockholm syndrome kicking in. She has an affinity for her abuser. You have to remember that she's 9. And even sometimes adults have problems with Stockholm syndrome, identifying with their abuser. She identifies with her mother because it's her mother. She doesn't have the wherewithal to say, screw her. Okay, what happened to her? Because in her mind, she also has to protect her abuser, or else the consequences will be more dire for her later on. I'm still trying to figure out where the father's at.
Let's go. Get up.
I want my dad.
Get up.
I want my dad. I want my dad.
Car out here.
I want my dad.
I got one car out here.
My dad. I want my dad. I want my dad.
Get in the car! Get in the car now! Okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because you're going to go to jail now too.
I want my dad, wait! I just want to be my dad, please!
Get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the car. I don't slow you to the car. Get in the car! Why are you threatening me?
Mom's. I'm ready to take Mom to jail too.
Okay? But you need to get warm, otherwise you'll get okay?
Now, as you can see, the sheer number of police officers that are here for a woman and a child, which illustrates to me that this is a situation that is not for the police. This is a situation for social workers, and the police presence would simply be there to keep anything from escalating violently. But I believe that large metropolitan police departments, need to start employing or enforcing that other types of help accompany police officers to domestic type or things that have to do with a child. I don't know the logistics or how that would have to happen, but it needs to, because there are like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squad cars, and no one's able to calm the child. They're talking about arresting the mom, or
Yeah. No. Hands are freezing.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Get in the car. I'm done telling you. Get in the car. Get in the car.
You gotta sit back. Don't do it. Sit back.
247. You got a rig stage. Alright, just keep him staged for a minute.
If you notice, if you heard, it was the female officer that suggested the pepper spray. She just did it. I'm going to rewind a few seconds. It's the female police officer that suggests pepper spray. I don't know how pepper spray was supposed to calm this little girl, because pepper spray hurt. It only make her more hysterical.
Yeah, I'm good. Just need a...
You good?
Yes, Alright, just keep him staged for a minute.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Just need a neighborhood check.
Yeah,
Mom's out here. Mom's out here trying to fight people driving by.
House? I'll go right now.
129. She's the one that called originally.
Okay, what do you want, a depot or what?
I'm ready to take Mom.
I'll take Mom stress and I'll go arrest her.
I will call him.
I mean, I really...
Now, I wasn't not able to find the other part of that video, the second part, where she actually is pepper spray. I saw it on someone else's channel, but I wasn't able to find the video itself. Okay. Golden Child, I appreciate your post, but that's not my Cash App anymore. That's not my Cash App. And for those of you who are here, you're going to make me ask for a third time in a row to support the channel. And my likes. There are 73 people. There are 39 likes. There are no Cash Apps. I'll wait. Thank you, Golden Child. Very much appreciated, beloved. So, I wasn't able to find the second part of that, where they actually show her being pepper sprayed. But there are other content creators that are going to focus on the police part. My focus is on what this little girl is going through, which is actually the bigger scope. The interaction between her mother, and the police was a culmination and an extension of what was happening in her household. Thank you, Torrance V and Felicia, for the cash app. Thank you so much. That was just a symptom of what goes on for that child. This is why I titled it How She's Made. This is how a gynocrat is made. See, there may be some in this space that think gynocrats are born. Are they just born into feminism and they're just taught it in school and this is what they end up in? No. That's only one component. The bigger component is the emotional and mental damage, sometimes physical, that is inflicted upon a girl that leads her into the gynocracy by force and by trauma. Okay? Because for that woman to speak to that little girl. Thank you, Shango, sweetheart, for the cash out. For that woman to speak to that little girl in that way was telling on so many levels, because I've experienced it. I know what she gonna do to that girl. She's going to take revenge on that girl for having to call the police, because she's fighting with her man, and in her mind, that ain't nobody's business, including the little girl that has to witness this violence going on. She pays no mind to the mental health and the emotional instability of her own daughter. So much so that she attempts to attack the daughter even in front of the police officer, and attempts to get into further fights with strangers passing by, all while being pregnant from what the 9-year-old is saying. So no regard for the child that's walking around, and no regard for the one in her womb. So she has no regard, not even for her own safety. Because what if that cop had been a real a-hole and decided, you get pepper spray first, and subdued harshly and forced into the back of a police cruiser? A black man would have been shot and killed. The trauma that woman inflicts on that little girl all the time, directly and indirectly, if that little girl doesn't get some help or seek out help when she's older and able to sort of take initiative for herself, because right now at 9, she's not old enough to take initiative. She can't take responsibility for herself. That's what parents are for. And everyone in this little girl's life is failing her, including her father, because where was he? Somewhere fighting the mama. Obviously, he was physically around somewhere, and maybe he dipped off because he didn't want to get arrested or whatever the situation was. He wasn't right there when the mother was right there, and the little girl is calling for him, wanting him to be there. But he's wrapped up in the same chaos that the mother is wrapped up in. So in his own way, he failing the daughter because you're just as engaged in fighting in front of her as her hyena mama is. Then when she first comes over there, when the mother first comes over there to the police and the child and starts complaining to the little girl, like, you watch him put his hands on me all the time. She was attempting to invoke gynocratic sisterhood on the little girl. Sympathy because we're both female. How dare you react this badly to me when he does this all the time? Trying to say almost as if she's a battered woman. There's a difference between a battered woman and a fighting woman. Battered women are psychologically abused also, and they don't do any fighting back. They just get beat on. Fighting women, you know she been there. Even if she can't win that fight against that dude, she gonna cut him or she gonna hit him with something or something. He gonna have a scar too. And Lady Miss Thing Green said they don't see us as humans, just animals. And I would agree with that. But I would also say that probably part of the reason for that is that they see behavior as what was displayed in front of them. The mother didn't see her child as a human. She saw her as property because she said as much. I have custody of you. You're my child. I.e., you're my property. I do with you what I want. How dare you have a negative reaction to what I do to you? Told you gynocrats have children. They don't have children that mothers love. They birth out little slaves that they feel like they can control their whole life. Thank you, Lady Miss Thing Green said, thank you, sis. I never saw the full video until now. No problem. No problem. Because, that's a media thing to just put the critical part out there, but don't put no context, just to get folks riled up. The media know what they doing. So, folks in the black community, we don't see each other as humans either. They can't have no more respect for us than we have for ourselves and each other. And unfortunately, we don't have much. When you can attempt to beat your child in front of the authorities, that same authority that you would call on somebody else to come and protect you, and you feel above the law, you feel that big and bold that you'll do what you want to do even in front of him, we dealing with a drastic state of affairs. The amount of abuse that goes on in the average black home is astonishing. And the narrative is to blame black men for that abuse. Either he's physically there doing the abusing, or he's absent, so he's blamed for being absent so that the abuse takes place. Who hardly ever gets the finger pointed at about the abuse is the mothers that do it. See, even growing up in my household, my father had his issues, but my mother was my tormentor, not him. To the point where I literally felt like then that she hated me. Like it was done out of malice. Like, F you in particular. I'm going to do stuff to you because I'm doing it to you. And that's how that little girl feel. I bet you dollars to donuts that girl feel like that woman hate her, but is also her mother, and she feels a certain affinity to her for that relationship. I did too. I had Stockholm syndrome as well. I really didn't want nothing to happen to her, even though she was happening to me. Only when I got older did I break out of that. Like, okay, why am I protecting her again? She don't care nothing about me. She proved that. But I just wanted to come to you guys and give you a little bit of context, not only on the behavior of the police officers, which became atrocious as more of them showed up, but I wanted to focus on the trauma of the little girl. Not only the trauma that was caused by the police officers who later pepper sprayed her, but the trauma that she's living in, that the police don't have nothing to do with. All right. So that cat craving a whooping that his mama gonna give him if he don't be quiet. All right, so today's show was sponsored by A Game. So what everyone needs to do is go into the description box and click the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. So guys, give yourself the gift of better health, overall health. It addresses energy and vitality and strength, clearing mental fog, and of course the libido as well. And ladies, get this for the men in your lives. They will not know how to thank you for that. And with that being said, peace out, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share,
and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys